Hi everyone! I just thought I'd do a quick video because something has really been on my mind and it came up today while I was doing a photo shoot. And it's the subject of fear. So fear has been a reoccurring theme for me for many years of my life, and I still haven't cracked it. And I'm guessing there are a lot of people out there who are also dealing with either big or extreme amounts of fear. Anyone who has ever suffered a panic attack knows what it feels like to be completely frozen and not be able to move or do anything because they're so scared. You don't even need to know what you're scared of, just the fact that you're scared is enough. So through my years of yogic practice, spiritual practice, all the things I do to heal myself and develop myself, I have come to the point where actually two fears in my life had a clash. And one was the fear of trying, and the other was the fear of not ever having tried. And the fear of not ever having tried was bigger than the fear of trying. So here I am, making my videos, doing my art, and putting myself out there to the world. But fear has this tendency to sometimes trick you a little and kind of subside. And you can feel it. You can feel the signature, the energy signature in your body, that it's kind of hiding somewhere. It's kind of lurking in the shadows. And a lot of people say, well, feel the fear and do it anyway. That's a famous book. But what's the point in just kind of bashing your fear and pushing it away? Imagine you could actually go into your fear and discover what it is or what caused it, and perhaps you could just then emotionally work through it and let it go. So I'm at the point now where my fear is quite subliminal, but I know it's still there. It raises its head once in a while and reminds me I'm still very much part of your life. So I thought, what can I do to find the cause of my fear? So for me personally, I believe that what I do on the mat in my yoga practice and what I do in life as a yoga practice is interchangeable. Whether it's on the mat or in life, it doesn't really matter. It's one and the same thing. One affects the other and vice versa. So for me, inversions in yoga are a real challenge. They bring out the primal fear. I remember the first time my teacher made me do a headstand. I just broke out into this crazy sweat and I was shaking and I was like invigorated at the same time, and it was a petrifyingly liberating but scary thing. So I've decided, in order to bring out my fear and to follow it to its roots, I am going to engage in headstand and handstand practice. And let me tell you, it's still very scary. But when you're fortunate enough to have a teacher to show you how to break it down and how to go about it and what you can work on to give yourself the tools and the stability that you need to achieve what it is that you want, it's a very special thing. So I think the important part about what I'm doing, about the headstand and the handstand practice, is to first of all identify what is real and what is just your perception. So I said, well, my first problem is when I go into a headstand, when I'm preparing for it, I can't even align my hips above my shoulders to have a straight back. Well, it turns out that was just my perception. That was just my fear telling me you will never get into the pose that you need to start lifting your legs. I actually can align my hips above my shoulders. So the next stage was, okay, so when I try lifting my legs and try being completely vertical, I just go really dizzy and I can't support myself, and the whole world becomes really, really scary, and I could just topple over and break my neck. Well, first of all, if you're doing your headstand practice up against a wall, it's very unlikely that the wall will vanish behind you and you're just gonna fall and break your neck. But heed what I say, because maybe you will fall over sideways, or maybe you'll bump your shoulder or something, but nothing is as extreme as my fear is actually telling me. So once you're upside down, the first challenge, I guess, is to breathe. And once you start breathing, and when you know where to engage the muscles and to find your power and to build the same strength in your upper body that you normally have in your legs when you're standing upright, once you work on that, I had a really magical moment today where I was up against the wall, but only touching the wall with my heels. And today I had a moment where my heels just managed to lift off of the wall a few centimeters. And suddenly I was standing upside down. And it was amazing. And of course then I freaked out and immediately came down, but it was totally invigorated. And that's okay too. And the same for my handstand practice, just standing up against the wall on my hands and kicking up, like kind of one leg hopping, trying to get the legs up. And that moment where you feel you might actually go upside down, for me it's terrifying and at the same time so liberating. So what I guess I'm trying to say with all these details, it doesn't really matter whether you do a headstand or whether perhaps you engage in a new activity or put yourself in a situation you normally wouldn't put yourself in. It's to break it down, make it manageable, talk to someone who can help you, who has experience, and they can show you a step-by-step way where you set yourself up to succeed rather than to fail. And sometimes, rather than just stumble about in the dark hoping it'll all magically come together, with someone guiding you who's removing perhaps the distorted perception and showing you facts and from experience knows what might work and what might not, you can get really, really far. So, yeah, I'll keep you updated on what happens. But all I can tell you right now is I feel my fear is surfacing and I am inviting it. I am inviting it to come into my consciousness so that I can see it and feel it and listen to it and try and understand it and to find out what it is that caused it, or what it is that I'm really, really scared of. Have a lovely evening and see you soon.